Pay homage to the ancestor.
The death of Steve Jobs left a deep impression on all of us. The world really misses one person who has made many advances in the world of information technology. Steve Jobs was amazing. His work will be remembered by the whole world. Even though Steve Jobs is dead, his work, his mind is still motivating and inspiring. Steve Jobs' expression that I've never heard before, which I will show in several parts of the video.
I used to say that Apple should be the Sony of this business, but in reality, I think Apple should be the Apple of this business. If there was ever a product that catalyzed what's Apple's reason for being, it's this. Because it combines Apple's incredible technology base with Apple's legendary ease of use with Apple's awesome design. It's like, this is what we do. So if anybody was ever wondering why is Apple on the earth, I would hold this up as a good example. When people see the iMac, for example, they think we really can produce industry-leading products like this. It's not about charisma and personality. It's about results and products and those very bedrock things that are why people at Apple and outside of Apple are getting more excited about the company and what Apple stands for and what its potential is to contribute to the industry. The reason I went back to Apple is that I feel like the world would be a better place with Apple in it than not. And it's hard to imagine the world without Apple now. Things happen fairly slowly, you know. They do. These waves of technology, you can see them way before they happen, and you just have to choose wisely which ones you're going to surf. If you choose unwisely, then you can waste a lot of energy. But if you choose wisely, it actually unfolds fairly slowly. It takes years. One of our biggest insights, years ago, was that we didn't want to get into any business where we didn't own or control the primary technology because you'll get your head handed to you. The whole strategy for Apple now is, if you will, to be the Sony of the computer business. So if Apple just becomes a place where computers are a commodity item and where the romance is gone, and where people forget that computers are the most incredible invention that man has ever invented, then I'll feel I've lost Apple. But if I'm a million miles away and all those people still feel those things and they're still working to make the next great personal computer, then I will feel that my genes are still in there. At Apple, people are putting in 18-hour days. We attract a different type of person, a person who doesn't want to wait 5 or 10 years to have someone take a giant risk on him or her. Someone who really wants to get in a little over his head and make a little dent in the universe. We are aware that we are doing something significant. We're here at the beginning of it and we're able to shape how it goes. Everyone here has the sense that right now is one of those moments when we are influencing the future. We'll always stay connected with Apple. I hope that throughout my life I'll sort of have the thread of my life and the thread of Apple weave in and out of each other, like a tapestry. There may be a few years when I'm not there, but I'll always come back. And that's what I may try to do. The key thing to remember about me is that I'm still a student. I'm still in boot camp. If anyone is reading any of my thoughts, I'd keep that in mind. Don't take it all too seriously. If you want to live your life in a creative way, as an artist, you have to not look back too much. You have to be willing to take whatever you've done and whoever you were and throw them away. MAC stands for what we are as a company, taking technology that's out of reach of the people and making it really great. That's what we did with the Apple II, and that's what we're going to do again with Mac. Computers and society are out on a first date in this decade, and for some crazy reason, we're in the right place at the right time to make that romance blossom. To make Apple a great $10 billion company. Apple has the opportunity to set a new example of how great an American corporation can be, sort of an intersection between science and aesthetics. Something happens to companies. When they get to be a few $1 million, their souls go away. And that's the biggest thing I'll be measured on. Were we able to grow a $10 billion company that didn't lose its soul? Apple is the most creative of the PC companies. Pixar is the most technologically advanced entertainment company. But the holy grail for Pixar is releasing one product, a movie a year, and as CEO I might make 3 really critical decisions a year. And they are very hard to change. I would rather compete with Sony than compete in another product category with Microsoft. That's because Sony has to rely on other companies to make its software. We're the only company that owns the whole widget, the hardware, the software, and the operating system. We can take full responsibility for the user experience. We can do things that the other guy can't do. Funny enough, 20 years after we started Apple, there was nobody building computers for people again. You know? They were trying to sell consumers last year's corporate computers. We said, well, these are our roots. This is why we're here. The world doesn't need another Dell or Compaq. They need an Apple. I don't think it's good that Apple's perceived as different. I think it's important that Apple's perceived as much better. If being different is essential to doing that, then we have to do that. But if we can be much better without being different, that'd be fine with me. I want to be much better.